Hey y'all, welcome to part 4 of my build of this Farmertec clone of the Stihl MS200T. In this video, we're going to be getting the piston installed on the connecting rod and getting the cylinder put on. If you happen to stumble into this mid-series, check out the description for a link to all the other parts in the build of this saw. Let's get to it. Alright, parts for this one are pretty easy. Almost everything we need is in the cylinder piston kit. I've already taken everything out of the bags, but we'll have cylinder ring or piston rings, the piston, the circlips, the wrist pin, and of course the cylinder. We also need to find the bag of M5 by 16 screws. In with the spark plug, that small parts bag we've already been in, we need the smaller of the two bearings for the wrist pin. And back in our gasket bag again, we've got the cylinder gasket. Tools for this step, I've got a T27, a long T27 bit on a drill. I could also just use the T-handle. I've got a couple different needle nose pliers around just to make it easier for grabbing the circlips. And I've got a torque wrench. First thing I'm going to do is lube the bearing. I use a spray assembly lube. We'll set the case aside for a second. Next thing I'll do is put a circlip in one side. There are tools for doing this, but I've always just used a needle nose or another small tool to kind of poke it in place. Okay, that first one's in with the gap towards the top of the piston. Now we can put the piston on the connecting rod. The arrow on the piston goes away from the impulse nipple. I'm going to put a little bit more lube on the wrist pin. Lay the saw on its side now. And push that pin in against that first circlip. Now this is basically the same thing for the second circlip. Make sure you inspect your circlips close to make sure they're fully seated and not sticking out. You don't want those to fall out. Now that those are in, we'll do the piston rings. Locate the little pins that are in the lands of the piston grooves. We need to line up our rings on those. I like to bring the piston all the way down so that it can't move around so much. That's upside down. This little radius cut in the rings needs to go around the pins. So in this case, the pin's in the top of this bottom groove, so the ring needs to go in like that. You can get ring expanders, but I always install by hand. I don't like to spiral them on though. I've seen them bent that way. So I just hook it with my thumbs and try and open it up just enough to get it to slide onto the piston. There's on the first land, or the first groove. And the same thing with the second one. I never get the rings to stay perfectly in place on those pins. I end up having to reposition them about 3 or 4 times. I'm gonna get some lube, some lubrication, some assembly lube on these rings now. Want them lubed well, but if you get too sloppy with it, you'll get it all over your gasket, kind of make a mess of that. Those are lined back up with the pins. Now that the rings are on and lubed, the base gasket can go on. The tab on the base gasket goes towards the impulse nipple. Now the cylinder can go on. The intake port also goes towards the intake nipple. The exhaust port, the square one, goes on the side where the arrow is pointing. There are ring compressors you can use for this that make it a little easier, but I always just guide it on by hand. If it doesn't want to go, make sure your rings are still lined up with the pins in the piston. There's the first one. And there's the second one. Straighten the gasket back out. And I like to have the piston at bottom dead center, so it's down in the case. Now we need our 4 screws. The 2 on the intake side can drop in from, kind of the middle of the cylinder. And the exhaust side have to drop all the way down. My camera angle probably changed there a little bit. I realized when I was reviewing that video that I got out of frame a little bit. Had to adjust. We'll just restart these screws by hand. Now that those are started, we'll just run them in gently with the drill. tighten those the rest of the way with the torque wrench. They get 7.4 foot-pounds. And there we have it.